The Assembly will now hear an address by His Excellency Arthur Peter Mutharika, President of the Republic of Malawi. I request protocol to escort His Excellency. On behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honor to welcome to the United Nations His Excellency Arthur Peter Mutharika, President of the Republic of Malawi, and to invite him to address the Assembly.
Mr. President of the General Assembly, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Secretary General, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First, allow me to begin by congratulating Mr. Sam Mutesa on his election as President of the General Assembly. I have no doubt that his election at this juncture will bring to the notice of the world some of the problems and opportunities that exist in Africa. Malawi and Uganda have enjoyed cordial relations for a long time, and my government and my delegation will do all we can to support him in this very important position. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate his predecessor, Ambassador John William Ash, for guiding the work of the 6th session of the General Assembly with skill and pragmatism. I'd also like to thank His Excellency Mr. Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General of the United Nations, for the steady manner in which he continues to guide our global organization. Mr. President, on May 24th this year, my country held its first ever tri-party elections, which enabled Malawians to choose their political leadership through a democratic and peaceful process. The elections ushered me into office as the 5th President of the Republic of Malawi. I therefore wish to inform the Assembly that despite few challenges, the elections were free, fair, transparent, and credible. In this vein, let me seize this opportunity to thank all the electoral stakeholders, both local and international, for their dedication to ensuring successful elections in my country. Malawi has come out of this election much stronger than before. Mr. President, on 6 July 2014, Malawi commemorated her Golden Jubilee of Independence. As we commemorate these 50 years of peace, law, and order, we have tasked ourselves to take stock of the development which the country has registered since 1964, as well as the challenges which the country faces today. Much of the country has made some progress in diverse sections of the national development. There is so more to be done in order to uplift the living standards of many Malawians who continue to remain below the poverty line. They too dream of a better future that is only possible if we work with unity of purpose. In our quest to take development to their micro level, my government has embarked on a journey to transform Malawi for the delivery of statutory services to Malawians, especially those that are poor and marginalized. Mr. President, as you are aware, Malawi was the chair of the Southern Africa Development Community, SADC, from August 2013 until August this year. During our term of office, we strove as a region to achieve durable peace and long-lasting peace and stability in our countries. In this vein, let me commend my country, Malawi, and the countries of Madagascar and South Africa for holding peaceful and credible elections. Mr. President, the third group has been undertaking a number of efforts aimed at ending the cycle of conflict and violence in the region. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, SADC employed the Force Intervention Brigade, FIB, comprising troops from Malawi, South Africa, Tanzania, under the aegis of the UN Organization Stabilization Mission, ONUSC, and authorized by the Security Council Resolution 2090 of 2013. SADC is happy, and I say the international community, as well as for the success achieved for making the M23 and other negative forces leave the country and surrender. In Madagascar, SADC played a crucial role in bringing back constitutional normalcy in that country. In terms of international peace and security, I'd like to share with this August gathering that Malawi has always supported disarmament of all weapons of mass destruction. Towards this end, we have supported resolutions aimed at nuclear disarmament in the General Assembly. Over and above this, a couple months ago, my country held an in-country workshop to come up with implementation mechanisms of Resolution 1514 at national level to prevent the proliferation of nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons and their means of delivery. On the same subject, Mr. President, in the Middle East, Malawi is always disheartened and disappointed by the continuing violence and loss of life and property due to the conflict between Israel and Palestine. This cannot go on forever. We trust that the two-state solution to the conflict, with Israel and Palestine living side by side in peace and harmony, is the only viable way to achieving lasting peace in the region. We encourage both sides of the dispute to denounce violence, exercise utmost restraint, and employ dialogue as the sure tool to reach a political settlement. Posting 2015 development agenda. Mr. President, the choice of delivering on implementation a transgression 2015 development agenda as the theme for this session of the General Assembly could not be more appropriate. The fight against poverty, hunger, and inequality constitute the greatest challenge of our time. The theme first augurs well for the future, with the plans and the aspirations of the people of Malawi. Malawi appreciates the concerted nature of designing the post-2015 development agenda. Let me therefore commend the Secretary General's initiative to ensure an inclusive process leading to the post-2015 development agenda. With financial and technical support from the UN, more than 50 countries conducted national consultations whereby people provided input and direction on the post-2015 development framework. I am pleased that Malawi was one of the countries selected for these national consultations. The post-2015 development agenda ought to reflect the needs and priorities of the development world. Mr. President, it is important that the next global development agenda should do lessons on the successes and challenges of the current blueprint, the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs. Rather than seeing 2015 as an end point, we must review it as the beginning of a new era, an era in which we eradicate extreme poverty, protect the environment, and promote economic opportunity for all. The MDGs have played an important role in concerting our efforts around the common purpose of eradicating poverty. They have raised public awareness about unacceptable levels of poverty and helped to mobilize action towards a fairer world. The MDGs provide a common framework for monitoring progress, highlighting areas of achievement as well as challenges. Mr. President, Malawi is on the track to achieving 4 of the 8 MDGs, namely 1, reducing child mortality, 2, combating HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, 3, ensuring environmental sustainability, and 4, developing global partnership for the development. However, we are unlikely to meet the other 4 goals, namely 1, eradicating extreme poverty and hunger, 2, achieving universal access to education, 3, ensuring gender equality and empowerment of women, and 4, improving maternal health. Malawi will therefore be proceeding to the post-2015 development agenda with unfinished business of the MDGs. Mr. President, one reason why development countries like Malawi have failed to achieve all the minimum development goals is inadequate resources. Commitments made by development partners have been unpredictable and oftentimes not fulfilled. To achieve delivery of the post-2015 development agenda, the global community should not repeat this mistake. More important, accountability and transparency, as well as monitoring evaluation mechanisms, should be promoted. It is therefore imperative that as we move closer to welcoming the new global development agenda, we should also be mindful of the importance of global partnership or effective development cooperation. This will ensure successful implementation in the development countries. Mr. President, the post-2015 development agenda should not be looked as one-size-fits-all global development framework. Malawi is looking forward to a framework that is common but differentiated enough, where developing countries, depending on their special needs and unique characteristics, will have flexibilities in implementing programs. My delegation is pleased with the tremendous progress made thus far in defined post-2015 development agenda. It is in this context that I would like to reiterate and confirm Malawi's commitment to achieving sustainable development in 3 interconnected dimensions, namely economic development, including the end of extreme poverty, social inclusions, and environmental sustainability. I'm sure, convinced, that members states gathered here today will own the outcome document of the post-2015 development agenda and be committed to its full implementation. It is also encouraging to note that sustainable development goals that emanated from the Open Working Group on Sustainable Development Goals have incorporated the development concerns of both developed and developing worlds. Security Council reform. Mr. President, as the August House is aware, the year 2015 will mark the 70th anniversary of the United Nations. As such, it will be an occasion for all of us to bring in new energy to the organization and carry out the important reforms that we have been calling for ever since. For instance, the limited representation in the Security Council, in view of the current changes of the 21st century, is a source of great concern. Only by expanding the number of permanent and non-permanent members of the Council and by including developing countries in both categories shall we solve some of the legitimate deficits that the Council currently suffers. Mr. President, in conclusion, I want to submit that center of the post-2015 development agenda should be to address the plight of hitherto disadvantaged groups such as women, girls, and persons with disabilities. It is a well-known fact that the ugly face of poverty manifests itself through women, girls, and persons with disabilities. It is sad that Africa, the continent to which Malawi belongs, shares the following worrisome statistics in terms of human development. 1, its share of global poverty is as high as 30%. 2, 40% of the continent's under 5 children are stunted. 3, Africa's share of global child mortality is at 50%. And 4, 50% of Africa's children are out of school. I urge that the post-2015 development agenda should prioritize these challenges for redress. Africa has already spoken clearly about these priorities through the Common African Position on the post-2015 development agenda and through the African Union Agenda 2063, which aspired for a prosperous, peaceful, and integrated Africa. In this vein, I wish to call for adherence to global partnership for effective development cooperation principles by all stakeholders and implementing and delivering on a transformative post-2015 development agenda. Malawi will use her position as co-chair of the Global Partners for Effective Development Cooperation to help realize this cause. I thank you for your attention.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Republic of Malawi for the statement he has just made. May I request representatives to remain seated while we greet the President.